Alright, today I'm going to be doing a video on how to do an oil pan gasket on a 2008 Toyota Camry with the 2AZ FE engine. I was about to do an oil change and I found it needed an oil pan gasket, so what more perfect time to do that. So first off, you're going to need your 14mm socket to drain the oil, and you are going to need a 10mm socket with, I'm using a 6-inch extension, just 3/8 drive. They're not very big, so they're going to be pretty easy to break loose. And probably your engine oil of choice, 5W20 if you didn't already know. Filter, I use Mobil 1. This would best be suited for obviously when you need to do an oil change, but if you need it, you need it. So we will get into it. As I like to always premise safety first, we got jack stands. No just jack here. I've already started draining the oil, but as you can see, we've got our 10mm bolts here all the way around. And there is one back over here for your indexing to make sure it's on. And we've got, like I said, all the way around, as you can see, leaking pretty well, starting to drip. So I'm gonna get this oil pan off and I will be back. These ones over here on this side, there are, I don't know if you can see them. There is, let's see, you can see this one here and this one here. They're a little bit harder to get to, so you're going to want to use preferably a wobbly style, like this extension, and you can just get on there real easy. So that'll make that job a whole lot easier without any real specialty tools. Bolts out of the oil pan, and now, as you can see, I cannot get it off, so I'm going to go ahead and hit it with a dead blow hammer, and it should come right off. Here we are doing the oil pan, and it is not coming off with just my dead blow, which is something that could easily happen. This car's got just over 170,000 miles on it, more than likely the original gasket. As I had the car at, I purchased it at 64,000 miles, and so I'm gonna attempt to just get under the seal a little bit with a screwdriver and pry bar and see if it comes off. We are going to have to take off the oil pan by using a pry bar method or any other method. We should probably reinsert the at least 1 or 2 bolts like I've done, just so it doesn't come flying down and obviously hit you in the face. I've got the oil pan off here. I'm gonna go ahead and clean up this surface the best I can, and do the same on the engine. The mating surfaces between the two, I've already installed my new oil filter. It will come out a little bit is released through the pickup, and it will get messy, as the whole premise of me having all this cardboard so I don't get it on the driveway. But also, this would be a good time to inspect to see if there's any metal shavings in your oil pan, or if any of this looks abnormal. Looks pretty good to me. Probably a little bit of junk on there, could be a little bit cleaner, but the car's got a lot of miles on it. So I'll be back here after I clean off, and I will show you what I'm going to do to reinstall the oil pan. Okay, here I am just using a regular razor blade to clean off the mating surface. You can use that on the engine as well. Just get it as smooth and level as you possibly can. Try not to get any in the oil pan. If you do, clean it off. Same with don't get any on the rotating assembly in the engine. You can use wire brush, or if you have air tools, you can use a wire brush attachment for like a air Dremel, air grinder, etc., etc. Clean this up real good. Same with the engine, and then apply a RTV, probably high temp would be good. They use regular, but we're here in Arizona. This engine gets real hot. Summer's 120, you know, engine temperatures 200 plus, so you don't want the seal coming off. Alright, so as you can see, I ran the gasket maker. I did 2 lines. Yeah, it's not the prettiest. I had a little bit of a shaky hand, but better to have more than not enough. This is what I used. Loctite instant gasket. Operates in environments up to 450 degrees. Continuous 450. Intermittent 500. Should be way more than enough. Just squirts right out. Real easy. Should be more than enough for this engine's application. I gotta clean out some of this little shards that I left in there, but cleaned off this, applied it, cleaned off the I cleaned off the engine side, and now we're gonna be ready for reassembly and add the oil and check it for any leaks. This is kind of an impromptu video. There's kind of things I'm forgetting because I'm kind of doing this on a time restraint. I've got an appointment that I gotta go to, so I figured I would just do this real quick. You know, doing an oil change anyways, why not? But I should preface the reinstallation in the gasket with get some brake clean or some kind of cleaner, you know, parts cleaner or whatever. Clean off the surface, make sure it's not oily. Do the same to the mounting surface on the engine, and then insert all the bolts and then just snug them up from the inside out, like kind of like 1, 2, 3, 4, to kind of do a little bit even pressure. Then I just go all the way around and make sure they're torqued all the way. You don't got to get on them with a lot of ass. They're 10mm bolts, so they probably, it's rare that 10mm bolts have any kind of epic torque numbers on them anyways. But I will go ahead real quick, show what it looks like underneath with it back on clean. I ran my finger around kind of to remove some of the extra gasket sealer. That's purely preference, you don't have to. Just wiped it down, and I made sure my drain plug was tight. Now I'm gonna throw some oil back in this bad boy and check if it is leaking. Went ahead, ran the car for a while, checked for any leaks. Only thing I can say in addition to this is after you ran it, got it up to temperature a few times, go ahead and check the tightness of your oil filter and possibly recheck the bolts on the oil pan. Heat cycles may expand a little bit, everything might just be a little loose. But other than that, no leaks as I saw, and it was a good repair. So until next video, this is the Average Dad signing off.